How do you start with this? I actually was hired by a designer. So he and I went online and looked for pictures of chairs. We had all kinds of different types. We landed on this particular design of a chair. So the actual design of the chair was done by someone else.
That chair exists in the real world?
Yes, someone designed that chair. This one, some great designer came up with this concept. We found it as a black and white photo, and then I embellished on top of it. I basically, when I work with a designer, I ask for size, color schemes, and lifestyle. So in this case, we came up with the style and the lifestyle, and then the designer told me to just go for it with any color I wanted to. So it progressed by taking a photo of the original design, which was a 3D chair. It's an actual chair somewhere in the world. And putting that on paper, started out on a small scale. Then I traced that off and projected it up onto a larger scale so that I wouldn't have to spend time doing little squares, making it bigger. So projected it up onto canvas, and then I created a light source coming from this way, from this angle, and giving it more excitement, more color, and then putting it on the thicker stretcher board, so I gave it some more dimension. I was lucky enough to sell this to Mr. Jim McAllister. The hands actually were my wife's hands. In the photograph, it was, in fact, a lot of the imagery that you see here in the photograph was fuzzed out because we didn't have a good copy of it. The fingers on the original photograph tended to be more stylized, more rounded, no fingernails. So, and then the shoes here are a little more pronounced. And of course the angle of the color hitting it, the tips of the fingernails, that all helps pull it out.
The colors, the vividness of the reds and then the darker colors in there, did you know right away that you wanted to use that, and why did you use it?
You can actually see on these images next to the original that it looks good on brick walls, and red is probably the most vibrant color that registers with everyone, and including even the orange, brighter colors. So that's how I arrived at that, was fitting into the space.
It's a little bit more on the art side, vocabulary that I don't possess exactly. I'm trying to, I guess, get to a chicken and egg kind of thing. Do you paint the chair and then decide what the background is? Or do you have an idea of the emotion you want to evoke and then you place the chair in that?
That's a really good question. I did the chair first, then I did the light source, and then I did the background. The background may have gone into purple also, which is a real passionate color. And you can see in the shadows, there's a bit of purple in there. And in the background, there's some purple peeking through.
Is there a particular sensation that you want people to have when they look at it?
The only thing really that the designer said is it should be fun and exciting. And we thought this was somewhat Hollywood and somewhat showbiz oriented. Flashy, unpredictable, shocking to a degree.
But what is the genesis? You found the photo, but did you go looking for that photo, or did the photo find you? What was the genesis of the idea that became this?
Oh, yeah, the mainstay behind the entire project was to find something that said woman, and that said professionalism. And so we did go looking we looked at, I think, 10 different options for chairs. So quite a few are what I would refer to as modernistic. They had a lot of smooth edges, unpredictable shapes. I had one chair that the back was more or less Alice in Wonderland. Very tall, big circular shapes, very serpentine, suggestive to a point where it would suggest femininity. Yeah.
Well, this image is definitely feminine and beautiful, and there is an elegance to it, but there's something about, I'm not even sure what it is. It might be the hands, but she's a formidable chair.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you'd want to be on the other side of the table with, with that chair.
No, it's interesting that you'd mention that, because now as I'm looking at it, it's a very, it's a power-based pose. Very relaxed, very sure of itself. No protection, just ready to take the world on. So, very fitting.